At the end of college, I met Alice McDowell, who is the co-founder of Light on the Hill Retreat Center, and she is the founder of the Hidden Treasure program and the head facilitator of that program. And so, again, it's a 3-year course that's in healing and personal growth. What I like about it is it meets 5 weekends per year. And it's spread out over 3 years on purpose so that we can naturally integrate these concepts into our daily life. And so I went through that program right out of college when I was like really trying to assess what's my next step, you know. And so as I mentioned, I did feel like for me it was that calling toward healing work and music. And so what Hidden Treasure does is it invites you to get in touch with your life purpose and your passions and to examine some of the obstacles that prevent you from pursuing these things. And so there's one whole weekend topic that's devoted to the inner critic. And we do a lecture on the inner critic, and you understand why it formed and how it formed, and actually that it might have served a purpose. You know, instead of receiving corrections from outside of ourselves, we develop a voice in our head that might correct us before somebody else can do it, right? But it can become detrimental. So we start to do exercises that help us become more aware of inner blocks and then starting to find like new ways of being that are more connected to our authentic self. So the idea is like, how can you acknowledge the unique gifts that you have and get out of the way so that those can come through even more? So I went through the program. By the end of the 3rd year, I was starting to lead my own classmates in songs. Nice. And I had come from a place of actually having a tremendous fear in relation to public speaking. And actually, like when I started the program, even introducing myself and my name, saying my name, and like the three questions that they ask you, where are you from and why are you here? My heart would be out of my chest. So like tremendous fear of public speaking to the point where I was comfortable teaching one-on-one voice lessons. And I've done that for 16 years. But I never thought I would have the courage to lead a group, even though I really wanted to. Like there was like a burning desire. Yeah. And so it was interesting that by the end of those 3 years, I was starting to lead all my classmates. And usually the classes are about 20 people. Mm-hmm. But I was seeing this naturally emerging. And then like we'd end the weekends and like I'd lead the song, Glory, Hallelujah, since I laid my burden down, you know, and get everybody singing on this old classic gospel tune. But yeah, it was interesting to watch that happen. And then right after the program ended, I decided to launch my first singing class. And at the time that was called The Joy of Group Singing. Mm-hmm. And so I ran that program for 10 years. So it was just interesting that it unlocked something. The first 2 years are designed to like help you reflect on your inner life and your obstacles and just your own maybe personality things that may or may not serve.
Just digestion and self-awareness.
Yes.
Of what's come already and who you are.
Yes. Right? The 3rd year we move more into like integration, mastery, and service.
And like creating a vision.
Yes. Yeah. And also just more like after you've done the inner work, then reassess what's one's purpose. Mm-hmm. And so the 3rd year we were all invited to choose a project in the world, something that we're going to do that's in alignment with our purpose. And we do a really deep meditation to access what that's to be. So I went down, and I realized I have this word block. I have a word block about public speaking. I have a word block. I was only singing cover music at the time, and that seemed okay, but I didn't realize that there was a songwriter in me till I identified this word block. My project ended up being a poetry project, and I took poetry lessons with Jay Leeming and started to unlock the word block. And we'd practice reading poems out loud, and I got more comfortable with my own speaking voice. Jay and I did a poetry reading where we hosted, and we did it more Sufi style in a circle and had people pick poems out of a basket, and I actually had the courage to read some of my poems at that reading, and I didn't realize that would unlock songwriting. And so that led to the formation of Solstice and my album Red Sky and becoming a lead singer and becoming more known in Ithaca and then having more of a following and then offering these community singing things that lots of people would come to, and just things just started exploding, opening, and I felt like more of who I really was I had access to. Then what happened was I was asked to become one of the teachers of Hidden Treasure. Nice. And so it just felt like such a joy to be able to facilitate a similar experience for others. And really everyone's going to come out more authentically themselves. There's no cookie cutter. There's no everybody comes out as a public speaker or a songwriter, but what an honor it was to be asked. And so I've been a teacher of Hidden Treasure since 2011, so that's been 8 years. And so that feels like it really taps both my master's work of transpersonal psychology, but fulfills that calling toward healing work on the deeper level. It feels like that's been a huge part of my journey and part of my work life now too.